Have you ever wondered why your relationship with your father has always been difficult, maybe even toxic? What if I told you that this wasn't a coincidence, but a crucial part of your spiritual journey? Chosen ones, this experience has shaped you for something much greater. You were meant to rise higher. Every tear, every conflict, every painful word had a purpose, and in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what that is. By the end of this video, you will understand that the very person who may have seemed to hold you down was actually the one who, in a way, pushed you toward your highest potential. So stick with me, because we're unraveling a truth that will not only set you free but empower you to rise to levels you never thought possible. First, let's talk about toxic relationships, especially with a father figure. It's easy to feel burdened by the emotional and psychological toll these relationships can take. You may have spent years questioning yourself, wondering what you did wrong, why you weren't enough, or why you couldn't seem to win their approval. But here's the truth, chosen ones, that toxicity was never about you. The actions of your father, their harsh words, their neglect, their inability to show love, none of it defined your worth. Instead, this experience was a test, a necessary obstacle placed in your path to help you see beyond earthly validation and approval. Think of it this way: if everything was handed to you easily, if you were coddled and protected from every hurt, would you ever have grown into the powerful, unstoppable force you are today? The struggles, the toxicity, they shaped you. They forced you to look within, to find your own strength, to rise higher. The role of the father in spiritual awakening. Now, let's talk about the role of a father in your spiritual awakening. In many spiritual traditions, the father symbolizes authority, guidance, and stability. But when this figure is absent, or worse, toxic, it disrupts that natural order. For the chosen ones, however, this disruption is often the catalyst for deep, spiritual transformation. When a father fails to provide the love or support you need, it creates a void. But in that void, something incredible happens. You begin to turn inward. You begin to question the structures you've been taught to rely on, and instead of leaning on others, you learn to lean on your own inner guidance. You realize that the source of love and validation doesn't come from external figures, but from within. In a way, your toxic relationship with your father was a trigger, a painful, yet necessary event to propel you into spiritual self-reliance. It taught you not to look for approval from others, but to recognize your own inherent worth. And that is exactly what it means to rise higher. Breaking the generational cycle. Another important point we need to understand is the concept of breaking generational cycles. Many of you may come from a long line of dysfunction or toxicity in the family. It's as though the same emotional wounds get passed down from one generation to the next. But chosen ones, you were put here to break that cycle. Your experience with your father may have been difficult, but you have the power to end that pattern. You don't have to pass it on to your children or allow it to define your future relationships. In fact, your journey is about healing not just yourself but those who came before you. You were chosen to rise above the pain, to transform it into something beautiful and powerful. And remember, breaking this cycle is not about holding on to anger or bitterness. It's about understanding that your father, too, was shaped by his experiences, his traumas. That doesn't excuse the harm done, but it allows you to step into a place of forgiveness and healing. You are the chain breaker, chosen one, and that's why your journey has been so challenging. You were meant to do something that no one before you could. Rising higher, transforming pain into power. Now that we've discussed why these challenges exist, let's talk about rising higher. How do you take all the pain, all the heartache, and use it to fuel your spiritual growth? First, acknowledge that this pain was part of your destiny. It was preparing you for something greater. Every time you were let down, every time you felt rejected, your spirit was being fortified. You were learning how to stand tall on your own, how to create boundaries, how to recognize your own strength. And this strength is something that no one can take from you. Secondly, understand that you are not alone. Many chosen ones have walked this path before you, and many will walk it after. What sets you apart is your ability to rise above the hurt, to see beyond the surface level, and to use these challenges as a springboard for your spiritual awakening. You're here to become more than what others told you you'd be. This is your time, chosen one. You've been through the fire, but now it's time to rise from the ashes. The universe has been preparing you, testing you, shaping you, and now, you are ready for the next level. Forgiveness as a path to freedom. One of the most powerful steps you can take on this journey is forgiveness. Forgiveness doesn't mean you're condoning what happened. It doesn't mean you're letting anyone off the hook for their actions. What it does mean is that you're choosing to release the hold that the past has on you. When you forgive, you free yourself. You allow yourself to move forward without the weight of resentment or anger. You can finally step into your full power, without being held back by old wounds. Forgiving your father, or any toxic figure in your life, is undoubtedly one of the hardest things you will ever face on your spiritual journey. The weight of the emotional scars, the memories of pain, rejection, and conflict, can feel impossible to let go. Many of you may have spent years, even decades, carrying the burden of resentment and anger toward the person who should have been your protector. This anger often feels justified, as you replay in your mind the moments of neglect or emotional abuse. You wonder why you should forgive someone who never acknowledged the hurt they caused, and that is completely understandable. But here's the spiritual truth, chosen one: forgiveness is not about absolving the other person of their wrongs. It is not about pretending the pain didn't happen or minimizing the impact it had on your life. Forgiveness is for you. It is a profound act of self-liberation, where you choose to free yourself from the emotional shackles that keep you tied to your past. As long as you hold on to that pain, you are tethered to the very person or situation that hurt you. You may find yourself reliving the same patterns of hurt and anger, allowing it to color your future relationships and experiences. When you finally choose to forgive, you're telling the universe that you are ready to transcend, to move beyond the identity of the wounded child and step fully into the empowered, conscious being you are meant to be. Forgiveness doesn't erase the past, but it redefines your future. It is a declaration that you will no longer be defined by the pain others inflicted upon you, that you will no longer allow their actions to dictate your self-worth or your destiny. In choosing forgiveness, you reclaim your power, and in that moment, you begin to rise, higher and stronger than ever before. Chosen ones, you were not placed in this life to remain small, to be held down by the pain of your past. The wounds inflicted by your father, or any other toxic figure, were never meant to break you, they were meant to shape you. Each tear you shed, every sleepless night you endured, and all the moments you felt misunderstood or unloved were not in vain. They were preparing you for something greater. The universe uses challenges, especially ones rooted in deep, personal relationships, to test your resilience, to forge your inner strength, and to awaken your spiritual potential. Your father may have been toxic for a reason, and though that reason may not be immediately clear, it has always been part of a larger, cosmic plan. You see, when you are chosen, when you have a divine purpose, life often presents you with the most challenging circumstances, especially in the places where you expect love and safety the most. These challenges are not meant to destroy you but to push you into becoming the strong, powerful being you are today. It is through these trials that you learn to stand on your own, to cultivate your inner wisdom, and to find strength in places you never thought to look before. You were meant to rise higher, to break free from the chains of your past, and to step into the fullness of your spiritual power. You are not meant to remain in the shadow of your wounds, you are meant to transmute that pain into your greatest source of strength. The moment you decide to break free, to let go of the hurt that no longer serves you, you step into a new level of consciousness. You begin to see that every trial, every moment of hardship, was a stepping stone toward your higher self. It's time to shed the weight of your past and step into your true, divine power. Your time is now. So take this message as a reminder: everything that happened to you, happened for you. The pain was real, but so is your strength. You are here to rise, to transform, and to lead others out of the darkness. Before you go, chosen ones, if this message resonated with you, type 777 in the comments as a sign of your readiness to step into your highest self. Let the universe know that you are done playing small, that you are ready to rise higher than ever before. You are not alone. You are chosen. And your time is now.